Welcome back. I'm hoping that this is the third and final video for this project. Where we left off is basically we worked on this search tool here. We've got, if I select the top radio button, it turns red. Find teacher by ID, and if I select find teacher by faculty, this drop down actually activates. You can see here when the other one is there, you can't click on that at all. So we've got that piece done. And right now we've done some of the functionality to the search bar, although, at this point, I can type in something, nothing. It just asks me to close the connection. Okay, so even if I try and search for Tom, I don't have any of that functionality at all yet. Okay, so if I hit search, nothing, right? Which is really, this is loosely sort of tied to the refresh button. So if I go to here and I hit search, you can see it actually performs much of the same functionality, but it's not ready to go yet. We still have some work to do. And in terms of formatting, I've modified the box a little bit. The data grid view sort of fits in this group box a little bit better. Obviously I'm not going for any, design awards of any kind. Okay, so it's very plain vanilla. I'm interested in more functionality than I am beauty here. Okay, so let's close this down and get into the code where we were. So we are in our button search click method, and we haven't really done too much in here. So anyway, let's continue and try to get this this functionality actually working now. Okay, so I'm just going to go below this if statement in our search click method. Okay, and I'm right here just above the catch block. Okay, and so where I want to start is db dot SQL. I'm going to initialize that to really an empty string, nothing. So what I'm going to do is actually go and copy one of our other SQL commands, and I'm going to get all of this, and it's way up here. You'll recognize it by this line right here. It's this select. Okay. And we're way up at the top of our methods in, what is this? Update data binding. Okay, so I'm going to take this whole line here. Yeah, sorry, I lost it. I'll take everything here. I'll start at the back and go to the front. And I'm going to copy this. Control copy. And I'm going to go all the way back down to where we were. And I'm going to paste that in right here. Okay, so I've got my quotes, everything is in there where I want it to be. So here we have, select the entire table from the teachers table. Okay, and in this case, we're saying faculty name table. So this is all SQL command stuff that we've done earlier. Okay, so if you're familiar with SQL, this will make total sense to you. If not, sort of just follow along and use it as a refresher. All we're going to do is go down to the end and remove this piece, the order by clause in there. So take that out, and we'll leave it right there to faculty table dot faculty ID. So this whole clause is for all of the data, okay? And we don't want it for all of the data. We want to be able to subdivide that data based on what we're checking. Find teacher by ID or find teacher by faculty. So we want to be able to separate that out. We just need to, get a hold of the data first and then start piecing it apart, okay? So we need to now below this start doing, checking some conditions. And so I'm just giving myself room. The first thing is I need to know what is my first radio button called. So if I go over to my properties, I select that. I might as well, the best thing, the safest thing to do is copy and paste it. So go back to my code, and I'm going to say that if first thing, now this is the condition that I want to have, dot checked equals true. Okay, then what? Then I go into another sort of layer of a condition. So in here, sorry, we're going to say if string dot, okay, is not, or is null or empty, is null or empty. That's a method call. Is null or empty. Now I have to go up to this, the box here. So our text box keyword. Okay, I'm going to go copy that. I'm going to paste that. Okay, dot text. And you'll notice that often when we use these kinds of text boxes, we're always grabbing the dot text with it, and then trim. Okay, so now in here, we're just going to return, we're just going to put in a return statement. Okay, so that's saying if we check the box, okay, then the next thing we're gonna do is check if this is null or empty. And then we're gonna do something else there too. So then right above this, we're gonna give a message. So message box dot show. Okay, and in this, we're just gonna say input faculty ID. And this should be in quotes, input, not IS, ID, with the, yeah, and that should be it. And we'll put a colon at the end. Okay. So we've got the first condition here, but I want to go down, finish off the else if, and there's another condition there. Okay, and then after this, you know, we'll look at this condition in a minute, but it's basically saying, hey, if it's not radio button, it must be the other one here. Okay, so we'll double click on that, copy, we'll go back and paste that in there. So if radio button find by faculty, okay, is equals true, okay, then we're in a different situation, right? Sorry, should be dot checked. Okay, but for now, I still have to do some work up here. So I've got one condition or I've got another condition. So up here, just after the if, I have to put in my where clauses. Okay, so I've got to do a little bit. I'm doing this command, but then I'm going to add to this command. Okay, so I have to say db.sql. Okay, and this is where I'm supplementing or adding to the command plus equals. Okay, and in here, double quotes, we're going to say where teacher dot, is it auto ID? I have to check what this is. So if I open it up and I look at my teacher table and I look at all my columns, I've got auto ID as my primary key. So what I'm going to do is in here, I've got the find on there. I'm going to say auto ID equals at. Okay, so I need the at symbol. I'm going to just say keyword 1 for now. Okay. And then on the next line, it's going to be a db.sql. again is going to be plus equal. And I'm going to put in another SQL command. So order by teachers. And I have another mistake here. It is teachers with an S. So yeah, I can just take this whole thing right here. Copy this. Paste it. And then by ascending order, A, S, C, and a semicolon. I may have to confirm that. Okay, so we're going to go back down to here, and we've got another condition that we have to check in our else if. Okay, so what we're saying is we've selected this one here, but we have to see if they've selected this as well. So we have two conditions here that we want to check for. So if radio button find by faculty checked as true, then we have to say, hey, if they've also checked the selector. Okay, so this one is, it's not the radio button, it is this one. So it's our combo box that we're going to copy, go to here, paste that in. So if they've done that, dot select index, and if this one is equal to 0, it means that they haven't done anything. They haven't selected it. So let's just take this message box up here and the return. Okay, we'll take them both, copy and paste, and we'll say, please select faculty. Okay. So the good news is, you know, when we select this and then we do the drop down by faculty, that's actually going to give us a list. It's going to search for us, right? So we don't have to specifically then type in something. So we'll hit this, drop down, hit the search, and then it's going to basically search just the faculty that we're looking for. Okay. I think what I want to do is I've opened up my database class, and I'm going to go and going to just close some of these messages here. So for now, I'm going to just comment out this. Okay, and let's go give this thing a look. Okay, because remember we were just doing, I was doing the search and I was getting that window that kept popping up, and that wasn't really doing any good. So when I hit this find teacher by ID, I've got, okay, input faculty ID. It's asking me to type in an ID, right? And if I type in, let's say 12 for now, and I do a search, I've got nothing that happens, but I'm not getting the warning error. Now, if I do this, this opens up for me, and it should go to engineering, but it's not actually doing anything, right? I don't have any functionality attached to that right now. So one thing I want to do is test out that error. So I'll go to here, search, I get this error, input faculty ID. I'll go to this one and I'll do search, and that one error is not popping up, which I needed to pop up. I need to fix what's going on in there. Maybe it okay, let's try that. Okay, so please select faculty. Okay, so I don't have a selection when I have it here, but if I select it here, I'm not actually getting that message, right? I only get the message when I haven't selected anything, when my condition was set to, my index was 0. So I do that, please select faculty. It probably needs a little bit of a more descriptive drop down as well. So I'm going to close this out and go back to where I was, way down here at the bottom. Okay, and I think I need to take this as well, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it right inside this else if. Okay, I'm going to paste it in there, Okay, so Control KD just to fix all my little annoying formatting. Okay, so in here we've got some updating, and it's going to be kind of ugly code. It's all SQL stuff. Okay, and first thing I'm going to do is inside of this, right after my where, I'm going to put in a round bracket. Okay, because I've got a lot of copy and pasting and editing to do here, but I don't want it to be auto ID at this point. I want first name. And remember your camel case. Okay, and then instead of this equals, it's going to be like. Okay, and then not keyword 1, I'm going to go with keyword 2. Okay, now I want to take this whole line right here. Sorry, I want this whole line, including the DB SQL stuff. So copy. I'm going to go to the next line. I'm going to paste that. And instead of where, I'm going to change this to or. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this bracket. And I'm going to keep the like, and I'm going to change this to last name. Okay, so I want last name. Last name. Okay, and here I'm going to end off the bracket. Okay, so you can see that I've got a bracket here and a bracket here, and my quotations are on the outside of that bracket. All right, now I'm going to take this whole line. I'm going to copy this, copy, going to go down, paste it. And now I want the word and, A-N-D, employee. So it's teacher still, but I want faculty ID. Okay, and this has to be spelled properly. Faculty ID. And this is going to now equal. And I'm just going to put keyword 1x. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff there, but just keep in mind, this is all SQL stuff. Okay, and I almost missed another bracket. Okay, so just to note that this bracket is for these two lines, and this bracket here is just for this line here. Okay, and I'm hoping I don't have any errors in there right now. Okay, so now we need to just finish this off with an else. Okay, because if none of the selections are you know, actually selected, well, we've got to deal with that situation as well. So now I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to copy it, paste it, do some editing. And I'm going to change this one here to or, and I'll take out the bracket. Don't need the bracket. And I'm going to change this to email. Email, and it will be equal to keyword, just keyword 1, and I'll take out that bracket. So now that I have that, I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, copy there, and I'm going to paste that and change this to faculty. Okay, so is it faculty that I'm looking for? Okay, it should be, yeah, this faculty here. So what I'm doing is I'm searching by all of these things, right? And in fact, it's not faculty, it's status. That's what I want. I don't want faculty, I want status. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it, drop it down. I'm going to paste that, and this one will be phone. Okay. And in fact, I'm not done yet. This one here for status should be like. And I'll change that to keyword 2. Okay, so just below this now, what we need to do is a little bit of an update, right? So we've done this stuff before, db.cmd, okay, dot command text, and I don't think this is text. I think this is type. Okay, and this one will be, it equals command type again, dot text. Okay, that's the type of the command. And then we're going to do db.cmd.command text is going to be assigned to from db.sql. Okay. And then the next thing is going to be db.cmd.parameters. See if it picks it up. Okay. Dot parameters dot clear. Okay, so we need to clear those at the end. Okay, so there's no doubt in my mind, in the beginning you were saying, what is at keyword 1? What is that all about? I have no idea. So what we're going to do is actually go set those parameters. So if I copy that and I come back down here under my clear, we're going to actually set those parameters, or at least the locations of where somebody's typing it in. So this is db.cmd.parameters. Okay, dot add with value, and it's a method. So in here, we're going to say keyword 1, comma, and we're going to go to the keyword text box, right? So we want this name exactly. Copy. Go back to here, keyword text box, v dot text dot trim. There. So we're going to do 1x next. Okay, so I'm going to take this whole line here. I'm going to copy this. Oh, that wasn't good. Copy. Paste. And I'm going to go down 2 lines because it's just, I want it separated a little bit more cleaner. Now, this is where it's going to change. Okay. So what we want for that is to actually select this box right here. Okay, this one. So I'm going to copy that, go back, and in here, I want to change this. So combo box, find by faculty, and this is going to be dot select value, select not item, select value, dot to string, and that's a method. So if we go back and we look, keyword 1 and this the drop down here, okay, it's not the most flexible, right? It's somewhat rigid in what we want to search for. So this is why we're kind of doing it this way. But the next search that we want is actually going to be more flexible by typing in. So this one's going to be handled slightly different. Okay, so I'm talking about actually selecting this and the drop down. That's not flexible, it's rigid, and this one here is much more because you get to type it in. So it's more flexible. So that's why keyword 2 is going to be handled slightly different. Okay, so if we go down to here, and I'm going to try and give myself a little bit more space down here, and now we're going to do keyword 2. Now this is going to be a wildcard search character as well, right? So if you don't know what that is, or if you don't remember what that is, go look up your SQL stuff with wildcards. So this is what we're going to implement right now. So here we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to take and create a string. So I've got a string here called keyword string, and it's going to be equal to a string dot format. And in this format, we're going to basically do the following, okay, because these are wildcards. We're going to say percent, not those brackets, these kinds of brackets. Put a 0 in the middle, and then on the other side, we'll do another percent. Okay, and then we'll do our next parameter is going to be keyword. What did we use for our keyword text box? Okay, right here, this one, text box keyword. So we'll put that in here, and we just need a dot text. Okay, we'll end that off with the semicolon. Now for the next part, now we get into this stuff. Okay, so copy, go to here, and then do a modification to this. So this one is going to be keyword 2, keyword 2, and then comma, keyword string. Here. So after that now, what we're going to do is our update data binding, and it's got 2 parameters. And don't forget, update data binding is way up here at the top, right here. And we've got 2 parameters to this, a command and a button. Okay, so let's go all the way back down to the bottom. Sorry if I made you seasick. Okay, so the first one is going to be db.command or cmd, and then our search button or button search right here. Okay, which is this button right here. And when we look at the properties, it's btn search. So let's test this out and see how far we can get. Okay, so far so good. Now, if I select the first one, we know it turns red, nothing happens here, and I do search. Okay, it's asking me input faculty ID. Okay. Maybe I should change that to teacher ID. Okay. Let me actually do that. Okay, I just went and changed that. I'm selecting this and search. It says input teacher's ID. Okay. Let's see. 12. Does anything happen? Update data bindings error. Incorrect syntax near teachers. Okay, so I've got an issue there. That's okay, because we're not done. So I know right away that I do have an error somewhere, and I suspect it has something to do with auto ID. Let's try it one more time. I'm just going to do a refresh. I'm going to select that and try, let's say 15. Type in 15 and update data bindings error, incorrect syntax near teachers. That's interesting. Okay. So there's something wrong in here that we have to fix. Before I find that bug, I want to just, I want to sort of highlight a few things, right? I had originally the wrong table. This had just teachers. Okay, so that had to all be updated, right? That's one issue there. And the other thing is I'm actually missing status up here. Okay, so Control C. I'm going to change this to status. Okay, which is right here. copy and paste. I also found that in a few cases I had the ascending. I actually had a dot ascending. Okay, and that's a mistake. It shouldn't be a dot ascending because it's an SQL command, right? Anything in capitals like this is its own separate. So there should be no dot ascending, and I've cleaned those up as well because I was looking through and I'm trying to find that little error. It's just taken me some time. So teachers underscore table had to be updated all throughout here. You can see up here, there should be no dot for your ascending. So I'm still kind of looking for that error, why it didn't work, but the status is an issue. So I put the status in there and start without debugging. Let's see if that gives me any issues. So find, let's just do 12 and I get the error, right? Update data bindings error, incorrect syntax near teacher's table. But if I do this one and I do computer science, it says near syntax near keyword like. So I've got the keyword like and teacher's table. Now that's not the most descriptive thing I've ever seen for debugging. And that error, that message actually comes all the way up here from our data binding. Where is it? I'm looking for right here. So this is update data bindings, and this is the error message that it's outputting. Okay, and so I'm way up here in my data binding. So, I've got a choice. I can go through all of this here, which I'm probably going to do. I'm going to have a good detailed look of all of this, and then see if I can find that error. Okay. Okay, so I finally have the solution to this problem. It's quite painful to have found this, but I had help. Okay, so I didn't do this alone. And I want to let everyone know that, I went through great lengths to do this next video, but after this, it was the third time that I started recording. I actually went and got some help from a really good YouTube channel. And he goes by, I don't know how to I don't know how to say the name. But let me just show you his YouTube channel. Okay, it's right here. Okay, and I'm gonna move it over to here. I don't know who he is, but he's awesome. He's got some great stuff on here. Really helpful for many things that I've been working on so far. So, you got to give credit where it's due. This guy is really good at C#, especially for the desktop applications. And it looks like he's got a whole bunch of other things. So for any of my students at Georgian, this guy's a great resource if you want to learn more about all this stuff. Okay, so let's get back into what the problem was. Right here, in all of my SQL commands here, I need to add a space except for the very last line of these queries. So you add this line or this little space in between each one on each line, except for the last line. And you've got to do this on your else, each and every one of them, except again for the last line. Okay, so that's basically how all that worked. So let's go through and start this, and I'll show you how this is supposed to work. So I do find teacher by ID, and I'll just go with 15. And 15 is from the business faculty. That's Audrey White. Select, and you can see that it puts up her name. If I just randomly do 18, search, there is no 18. Okay, so if I do a refresh, it just resets all of it. But notice there's no 18, right? So it didn't pick it up. So let's do Let's do this one now. Find teacher by faculty. So let's go to engineering. And I see that number 13 and number 19. So search. So 13 and 19 here are both in engineering. Okay, so let's refresh that. And let's take Audrey and let's do an update on Audrey. Do I want to update this record? So I'll do no, but I've selected Audrey and I'm going to drop down and I'm going to put her in engineering. Okay, now I'm going to do an update. Yes, I want to update. And you can see that Audrey is now in engineering. So when I go and do a search by engineering, I now have 3 people in there. Okay, so this is how all this works. And again, I want to thank the creator of that website, because I was really struggling with some of the other ideas that I had for good demonstrations of sort of these core competencies with databases and doing a C# application. So definitely a shout out to him. Excellent work. He's helped me out a lot where Snob Overflow could not. Okay, so anyway, that's the end of that tutorial. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed that piece. It's largely based off of what he did. He does deserve the credit. And anyway, thanks for watching. And I think this might be it for a while. Okay, if not, I'll see you soon. Thanks.